just understand that don't worry about what the tabloids tell you, okay? Uh, well, I will tell you this, though. Elvis had a lot of issues, health issues, that they really haven't delved into. And he wasn't going to live a long time past 42, even if he lived. It had very little to do with the drugs that weakened his system. Um, he didn't take care of himself like he should have at times. He didn't eat right. And as Jesse just said, it was genetics. Um, he wasn't going to live a long life. He just wasn't. Um, he was a shining star, and he shined bright, and he burned up quick. But it didn't matter what he did. He wasn't going to live into the 70s and 80s and 90s. If you really look at his family tree, Vernon only lived to be, he was only 63. Is that right? Something like that? Yeah, so that, I mean, he didn't live a long life. Uh, and his mom, she passed away when she was 46. And he had a cousin who married a cousin who I believe was his grandparents. So that's not a good idea. First cousins marrying first cousins. And so that's not good. And a lot of health issues. He had glaucoma, he had a large liver, he had issues. He didn't eat right. He ate all that southern food. Just not good stuff for you. One of his favorite things he ate was the peanut butter, banana, bacon sandwich that you all hear about. It was 8,000 calories. It had a pound of bacon, a jar of peanut butter, two or three bananas cut up. It was deep fried in lard, and that's the kind of food that Elvis loved. So we'll have a talk in the near future. I haven't done one in a while. We will. Because I will never lie to anybody in this room and try to sugarcoat it. People are like, did he have bone cancer? Well, he was taking medicine for bone cancer. Charlie Hodge said he had bone cancer. So one would lead to believe that if you're taking medicine for it, and one of your closest friends says you have it, then there's probably a good chance you did. Uh, he was taking medicine that was way over the top for certain things, but Elvis was not a drug addict by any means. He was addicted to prescription medication, which is a lot of people have a problem with now, and opioids and stuff like that are a problem that we know of now. We didn't have the Betty Ford Clinic back then. There wasn't the Betty Ford Clinic. Elvis didn't have the help of a lot of people out there that could say, hey, you know what? This isn't what you should be doing. I have said on length that Red and Sonny and them guys, his friends, they tried to help him. A lot of people don't agree with the way they did it because they believe, that they wrote a book and they brought it out into the public of what was going on with Elvis in his life, and they didn't think they should have done it that way. Now, even though I kind of agree they shouldn't have, I do agree with the fact that they were trying to help him, and that the book was nothing more than a what is that called, Lil? What do we call that when they do something to help a person who's on drugs or something? An intervention. Thank you. See, I wanted to see if you'd see it. It's called an intervention, and that was a form of an intervention. Writing the book to bring it out into public, because an intervention is when you face your problems in front of the people that love you the most, and his fans were who he loved the most. So when they wrote the book and they brought it out in the public that he had these issues, it was an intervention, and they wanted to. I don't want to. I hate when I say they wanted to embarrass him. They didn't really want to embarrass Elvis, but they wanted people to. They wanted to wake him up. That even though it was prescription drugs prescribed by a doctor, Dr. Nick wasn't exactly your normal doctor, because Elvis would get whatever he wanted. And if Dr. Nick didn't give it to him, he had a few other doctors that would. And Elvis was highly educated in medicine as far as what would, most people don't understand medicine the way Elvis did. He studied it. I mean, he had the kind of had the intellect of a doctor as far as what medicine would do, what you needed, and what it would do for you. And so he would kind of prescribe his own stuff. And Dr. Nick would write out the script and he would go get it and all that. But Elvis wasn't just taking it because he just wanted to take it to feel good. It wasn't all about that. When he was in the military and he was on KP duty, or, not KP duty, but he was on duty to watch. He's supposed to be up all night watching the stuff. It wasn't KP duty, what am I saying? He had to stay awake, And so they gave him uppers and stuff. A couple of the people out there, they're like, "Hey, try this, Elvis. This will make you feel good. You'll stay up all night." And he tried it. And that's kind of where he got addicted to that kind of thing. Because Elvis would stay up at night. And he would be awake at night and he would go to sleep during the day, which is why he had no windows in his room upstairs. There were windows, but they were all darkened in, blackened in. And even when he was in the Baptist Memorial, when he would go down the road and stay in there for nights at the hospital, they would put aluminum foil on the windows to block out the sun. So, you would always know Elvis was at Baptist Memorial Hospital because there'd be aluminum foil in the windows, and he was going there to just rest. Yeah, I totally agree, Lil. He was under a high amount of stress. He was extremely. See, let me try to say this. When Elvis passed away on August 16th, he was getting ready to go on a concert tour. We all know that. And Elvis hadn't got down to his weight that he was trying to, because Colonel Parker was pushing him too hard, and he was trying to put him out on the road sooner than he should have been. So Elvis didn't really have a chance to get down to the weight that he wanted to. And he wasn't happy with himself because Elvis always wanted his fans to see him in his best light. And so he was taking the opioids to help him with all these medical issues. And he was trying to do what he could, but it wasn't helping because, like you said, he was, it made him constipated. And we all know how Elvis passed away, so I won't go into it. But, whether we like it or not, we all know that that's kind of what caused the issue with his heart. And that's what made him pass away. So Elvis had a heart attack. So when they say Elvis died of a heart attack, it's truly what he died of. It wasn't because of the drugs. Did the drugs weaken his system? Yes. Did Elvis have other issues? Yes. But what caused him to die was the heart. He died from a heart attack. So don't let anybody tell you otherwise, because that's how Elvis died, was from a heart attack. He ate the wrong foods. He had the wrong. There were so many wrong things. Like I said, if he would have lived past 42, he probably wouldn't have lived past his mid-50s, early 60s. Elvis lived a hard life, and he did a lot. And so, when people say Elvis is alive today, just look at him and understand that they're morons. Because there's no way that man would have lived past 60, 70 years old, even if he did live. So I appreciate you all being here and honoring Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll. And in the near future, I will have a talk in the room about Elvis. And I do enjoy these things and talking to you about it. And I try to be honest with you and tell you the facts. I don't sugarcoat it. I honestly think Elvis was one of the greatest human beings to ever live and ever walk on this planet. And he had a heart of gold, and he would have given his shirt off his back to you, to help you. He was one of the kindest, generous people you would ever meet in your life. And there's never really ever been a better human being alive than maybe Jesus Christ himself, which Elvis would have said himself. Honestly, Elvis was one of the greatest human beings to ever live. So, with that said, was he perfect? No. Did he do everything right? No. So, when people put him up on a pedestal and act like he was this God, he wasn't. And Elvis would have been the first person to tell you, I'm not. So don't put me there. There's only one person that should be put there, and his name is Jesus Christ, and that's not me. So don't ever do that, guys. Don't do that. He wouldn't like that. He wouldn't respect that if you did. So understand, yeah, there's only one God, and he's not him. But as far as a human being, he's as good as they got. With that, I'm going to close out the room tonight, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you all for being here. As you know, this room is and always will be about Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, the greatest entertainer that ever lived, and one hell of a person. We will be back Wednesday night, same time, same place. Good night, everybody.